We on? Huh? We up? Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I ain't forgot my opening phrase. What up, though? Yes, sir. It is the Creator, aka Ant, aka Ant Man, whatever the hell you want to call me, man. I'm here. I know it's been a long time. The last time y'all seen me, these joints was not looking like this. But it's a special day in wrestling. It's a special day for a man like me, a fan like me. SummerSlam is underway in about less than an hour, and I'm back at work. I'm I'm back working, so that's why I'm not doing as much. But trust me, I'm trying my best. I want to do some more things for y'all. But and plus, trust there are some plans, especially with the new developments that's been going on recently creatively in some areas. But nonetheless, I'm here. I might bring my little brother up here, but I'm here, and it's time to give y'all some predictions for today's SummerSlam. Last year, I gave y'all predictions on SummerSlam, and I ain't go live. I think the same is gonna happen today because I'll be probably too busy doing whatever. But I'm not going not give y'all some predictions for this SummerSlam because one, it's the first ever 2 night SummerSlam. WrestleMania's been happening 2 days since 36 30 30 like, and these 2 day WrestleManias, these 2 night WrestleManias have been going actually very swell. So this is the first year that SummerSlam is being done in 2 days. It's hosted by Cardi B, even though Cardi ain't showed up on Nan's show. But whatever. She ain't even show up for the kickoff. That just shows you how much she's doing for the check. She ain't gonna take no bumps. I can guarantee you that. Anyway, we gonna just get right into it. This is, I could talk about how big this whole thing is, but we could just go on right into this. SummerSlam tonight, night one. We got Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. Now, I've been keeping up. Trust me, I've been watching, all of this. So just because I ain't been around don't mean I ain't been watching. So Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. This is their third one-on-one match. They had their first match at Night of Champions, where Sami Zayn won in his Muslim representative country. He's a Muslim, so him losing in Saudi Arabia was not a good look. So they let him win at Saudi. They had a rematch, I believe, a couple weeks ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And see, I told you he was gonna pop up. You see his head popping up over here. He's trying to trying to be a part of the crowd, but he's right over here next to me actually. But they had another match where Karrion Kross used a crowbar or a lead pipe. I say crowbar, but he used a lead pipe behind the referee's back to get the W on Sammy. So they're 1-1. So this is the rubber match, and I'm pretty sure with all the love that Karrion Kross is getting, his character is right now one of the most underappreciated to the fans' eyes, the most underappreciated character that they have on Raw because he is killing it. Being a puppet master, trying to manipulate people into turning heels, like he did it with the New Day. Um, he tried to do it with AJ Styles. It didn't work. And now he's doing it with Sami Zayn. He feeling like, this whole thing about you trying to be honest and modest about being the world champion, that's BS. Yeah, what the fuck? Kevin Owens, that's your best friend. You just went through some bullshit. You went through some crazy shit with him. So how could you? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. There's a real dark side hidden deep inside of you, Sammy. This side though we've seen before, back when Kevin and what was it when Kevin and Shane McMahon were beefing. Sammy saved Kevin Owens from that Hell in a Cell drop that Shane took because Shane was being too overzealous with power in Kevin and Sammy's eyes, so they became a heel tag team. Of funny but devious heel tag team, and it got smothered. Well, I ain't gonna say smothered, but Sammy, he knows how to be a heel, but he's been more of a funny heel, especially during the pandemic era before the bloodline came along. But Kerry, he's trying to get that dark heel out of him, and Sammy's like, "This ain't what you want. This ain't, this you're not gonna get it." But Kerry is like, you will by the end of this match say that Karrion Kross told the truth. So I do believe that Karrion Kross is going to take this W. But as far as what Sammy is about to do, because Sammy, he is one of the most underappreciated workers in this business. The crowd, they don't know how to treat him because he was one of the greatest standouts in the bloodline, and his payoff was a hometown match against Roman Reigns that he didn't win because it wasn't his time yet, or at all even around that time. It was more focused on Cody and other things during that run of the bloodline back in 2023. So the crowd is feeling whatever way they are about Sammy, but they loving Karrion Kross and Scarlett. So I got Scarlett and I got Karrion Kross taking this one, but I wonder what's going to happen afterwards with the developments. This boy is licking the hell out of my hand. Next match, I'm gonna skip this one and go around later. We got a women's tag team match for the championship. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, the allies of convenience, will be teaming up against the Judgment Day team of Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, the women's tag team champions. Roxanne Perez, since after WrestleMania, she's been doing her thing, and it earned her a spot in Judgment Day thanks to Finn Balor. Liv Morgan, she wasn't very receptive of it, but unfortunately, she got injured. She has a shoulder injury right now that she's recuperating on. We don't know how long she's going to be out, but until then, Liv Morgan's title instead wasn't vacated. It just was replaced by Roxanne Perez because they earned the title win at Evolution, the Fatal 4-Way match that happened at Evolution, which was great. But now you see that Alexa and Charlotte, they're not friends, but they're sure enough acting like it. The last couple of weeks, they've been cheering each other on. They was each other's cheerleader during their matches with real pom-poms. And they're really being catty with each other, just like, and we're not friends, but we're looking out for each other. We got each other's back type moves. So the dynamic between Alexa and Charlotte, it's doing wonders for Charlotte's character, because since she's been back winning the Royal Rumble, she was involved in the title picture, of course, with Tiffany Stratton. And you saw me on my reaction. I wanted Charlotte to lose because I just felt that it was the same old thing. Charlotte's always getting involved in the title picture, saying she's the queen, she's this, that, third, which she's been doing since her debut in 2014, or her main roster debut. You feel me? So it's a relief. I say 2014. I meant to say 2015, but you get my point. Bottom line is Charlotte's character is definitely taking a turn for the best, and Alexa Bliss bringing that out of her is a great thing. And even with Alexa, everybody's waiting for her to join the YS6 because she looks the part. She has Lily in her hand, and it says she had a jacket when she came back that said "Friends Forever" with the R. I think all the letters were in white except for the R in Friends. So Fiends Forever. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's waiting on Alexa to go to the YS6, and everybody wants Charlotte to stay out of the main title picture. But until then, this ally of convenience friendship is starting to develop a hell of a story, and I want to see it get paid off by them winning the tag team titles. Where does that leave Roxanne and Raquel? Raquel, who's been definitely stepping her game up. I didn't know about this until I've heard it from other pages that Kevin Nash gave her the rub, like be the big, like you got a Kevin Nash vibe, be big, stop wrestling small, wrestle big. And she's been doing just that. Raquel has definitely stepped up her game. I would definitely say since the Night of Champions street fight with Rhea Ripley, she stepped her game up. Roxanne Perez, she deems herself as the prodigy of the WWE, or back then it was NXT. But I'm sure that tag team gold isn't what she's vying for. She wants the Women's Intercontinental Championship. She wants the Women's World Championship because she's on Raw. But this is just the pit stop. So I'm sure she's going for bigger things. She's trying to woo Dominic Mysterio, get on his good side by giving him the Nintendo Switch and chicken nuggets and things like that. So she's going to use him to get what he wants, and then you know what happens when Liv comes back. So even though Finn Balor is loving all of this, trying to start drama because we know why he's doing this, he's mad because everybody that's around him is winning big gold except him. You know what I'm saying? Dominic, Intercontinental Champion. Uh, but you get my point. He wants somebody to follow him, even though they ain't supposed to be no leaders. But nonetheless, I got the Allies of Convenience winning these tag team championships because I think it's a great developing story to definitely help push Charlotte in a different light now that she's outside the title picture. So there's my prediction on that. The next match is it's a like we got 3 tag team matches and 3 singles matches on this night. But the other tag team match, which I'm surprised they made this the main event segment of last night's SmackDown. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and country music artist Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll lost 100 pounds from the last year, and it turns out that he really been losing that weight so he could try to do some stuff in the ring. Because it's all started at Saturday on the precipice of Saturday night's main event. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre had their little beef since Drew McIntyre came back from the beef with Damian Priest and him. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre had a steel cage match at the Saturday night's main event. The second Saturday night's main event of the year, and it ended with Drew McIntyre doing a concerto on Drew, and he was out. He came back right before the third Saturday night's main event, which involved Orton and McIntyre. I forgot how Logan Paul got involved in it, but basically Jelly Roll, I think because it was in Memphis, I think that was why that Jelly Roll was there. But nonetheless, Randy Orton beat Drew McIntyre at Saturday night's main event because of because of Jelly Roll's distraction, and Drew took that up, like he took that very bad. Claymore kicked Jelly Roll, and Jelly Roll sold that perfectly. He decked out and he laid flat on his face for a hot second. Randy Orton felt responsible because he's not a wrestler, so he put that in his. He took accountability, and Jelly Roll said, "Fuck that! I want to match with them. I want to fight these boys." So they're really selling the fact that Jelly Roll can have some skills in the ring. They had a segment even before the main event segment on SmackDown last night. They showed the segment where Logan Paul was interrupting Jelly Roll during his training sequence, and they had got into another big fight. I guess Jelly Roll fucked up. Jelly Roll got fucked up by Drew and Logan again with probably that right-handed Claymore kick. I didn't see it all, but the drift is they really selling this Jelly Roll as wrestling type shit. He did a boss man slam. What else did he do? He's good with the choke slam, all this type of stuff. But let's see what he does inside the ring. My prediction is, though, I'm low key. If they ended it with the big brawl, big 4-man brawl, security all in their way and shit. Randy, he won the match. Back up. All up in my mouth trying to kiss me. Randy won the Saturday night's main event match with Jelly Roll by his side. So I think that Logan and Drew are going to win this one. I see that being the case. Yeah, because I think Jelly Roll is just doing he don't need to win. Let's just put it like that. I think he might mess around and be back and a little bit slimmer. Who knows? I don't know. But Drew and Logan, they're going to need this W. Drew coming back with the W is it makes sense. Randy doesn't need to win. You know what I'm saying? Next match for the WWE Women's Championship, you have Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. Tiffany Stratton is the longest reigning champion on the main roster. She cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Nia Jax back on January 3rd, and she's been champion since then. And she's had some good matches. She just had a decent match with Trish Stratus. She's been doing her thing with Charlotte. She did her thing with Charlotte Flair. She's she's been doing good, and it's not like her reign is getting stale, but she's like for a first time championship reign coming off NXT and all of this stuff. I just think that she's done a nice job. But Jade has been put on this rocket ship since she's arrived. From the Royal Rumble arrival in 2024, winning the tag team titles twice with Bianca Belair, becoming the queen of the ring, even with the Saudi crowd against women or whatever. She went through it all, and it's like they're putting this rocket to her, strapping it to her back, and trying to put her through the stratosphere because ain't no telling how long she may even be in the WWE, but they're putting this on her like you look like you got it, you've been working like you want it, and hopefully I think it pays off. I think it's going to pay off. Um Tiff, people like her, but I think because of the fact that she knows how to be a good tweener, like Jade is a baby face, badass baby face, but Tiffany, she's a tweener. She's a heel that the fans love as champion. So I think she needs to lose the belt to develop more of her heel role. And Jade, people saying it may be too soon. Like everything, like a lot of people thought that, Naomi, former Miss Money in the Bank, was going to cash in on the WWE Women's Championship because one, she was on SmackDown, and two, she wants to be one up on Bianca and Jade Cargill since the big three disintegrated. But Naomi went out and cashed in for the Raw Women's World Championship, and that takes away any type of distraction for Jade to win, or so people thinking that Bianca's going to mess around and interfere. Hold on. So, like I don't know, like Bianca coming back costing her the match because of what, jealousy? I don't know. Um, but like unless that happens, then I got Jade Cargill winning her first major singles championship. She's a two-time women's champion, women's tag team champion, but I got her winning her first women's championship tonight at SummerSlam. The arrival of the Queen, the Queen Storm. I think that this is her coronation. To be like, she's got it. She's here. So, still me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. So there's that. We got another tag team match. I don't know if they'll make this the main event because of who is in it, or if it's going to be a co-main event. I don't even like shit. I bet it ain't going to open because it's Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus main event Jey Uso and the OTC Tribal Chief, your Tribal Chief, my Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. The Braun Bronze will be having Paul Heyman at ringside, and Jay and Roman, they're back. Is back to being Roman and the right hand man for one night, if you want to see it that way. But Jay said we all equals. But nonetheless, the whole storyline between with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, that's what this is. That's what this is all about. WrestleMania, Paul betrayed Roman and CM Punk and sided with Seth Rollins, who is Mr. Money in the Bank. But as of right now, he's out with an injury, a knee injury. And we don't know how long he's going to be gone for. And he won the Money in the Bank in June, but he got injured in July. So more than likely, Seth will be able to still cash in that briefcase if he is fully injured. And if he's injured like he is and he needs surgery or something like that, then more than likely he's going to be back before June to cash in if that's the case. But as of right now, he's out of commission, and that briefcase is still in the hands of Paul Heyman. We don't know if there's any plans they're going to do with it or anything of that nature. But nonetheless, Paul is siding with Braun and Bronson, Seth Rollins' henchmen, and they've been causing hell mainly to a lot of the top stars. Sami Zayn and CM Punk, they had their run with it. It was Seth, yes, CM Punk and Sami Zayn, they tried to go against this team, but then like this is when it was just Seth and Braun Breaker. So Bronson Reed got added into the equation, makes shit much more hard to deal with. Um, Jay Uso, he tried his hand in it for a second, and CM Punk and Jay tried to, it didn't work out. So it all was left up to one person, and he just happened to come back right after Seth Rollins gets injured, and that's the OTC. He comes back 2 weeks before SummerSlam, helps out his cousin, and he made the announcement, or he made the challenge live on Instagram. Instead of getting it booked on the main show, they got it booked on Instagram. So Roman, he's like, yeah, me and my family, it's all about family. I didn't break up the bloodline, I didn't ruin the bloodline. Paul Heyman ruined the bloodline because you decided to team up or side with a motherfucker who ain't spoke to you in 10 years. And that's what pissed me off about you. But Seth Rollins, his empire, I don't know if it's called that or whatever. The Bronze, they're basically carrying Seth's legacy because they are the two next stars up and coming. Braun Breaker, especially because look at him. I do see this leading up to a one-on-one match between Roman and Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. I see that. I mean, not SummerSlam, but WrestleMania Vegas 2, WrestleMania 42. I see it being a one-on-one match between them two because Braun Breaker, he is a star. He can talk. He can his move set is incomparable, hard hitting and high intensity. Bronson Reed, he's he's definitely I feel like he's definitely one of the next best big men to step up. After his beef with after his thing with Braun Strowman, and then with Seth Rollins, and this is something like they steady keeping him in the big names after that, because he came back from his injury. He injured both of his ankles, if you remember, at War Games, trying to jump off the top of the cage through a table on Roman Reigns, and then CM Punk saved him. But that crashing through that table, he broke his ankles. So this is him coming back from that, and he's still being put up on big marquee matches. So Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they are definitely the future of this company. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, you know what I'm saying? They've been together with each other, well, on and off, but from January 2020, from 2020 up until 2023, this SummerSlam, actually, the SummerSlam that I was at in Detroit, that's when, that was about as long as the Roman and Jay couple has been since they've been apart since 2023. They got back together last year, but only for one night. This is kind of the same thing, but it's still because it's what family do. Jay is standing up for Roman because that's what family does. Paul Heyman's trying to sell the story that family's gonna let you down. Roman's let you down before, then you ain't gonna do it again, type shit. But Jay is still standing strong and standing behind his family, standing behind his cousin, that he acknowledges as his tribal chief. And even Roman said in his Hall of Fame, and Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech, he said, "There's no tribal chief without the wise man. The moment I'm not with the wise man is the moment you don't see the tribal chief anymore." But however, the wise man, former wise man, he's now the oracle who doesn't predict, who doesn't make spoilers. He makes prophecies. That's not a prediction. That's a prophecy now, which is fire. I actually like that. But you got the oracle and the OTC. So, but it's tough. The story of the tribal chief is going to be tough because he has nobody officially on his side, officially. But let's see how this develops. I want to say I would love to see the right-hand man, the former right-hand man and the head of the table winning. I would love to see him do this, but I think this is a night for the Bron. And if they don't win, if the Brons don't win, then I think something crazy is going to happen at night 2 to recoup on that. That's just my thought process. So I got Roman and Jay winning. No, matter of fact, I take that back. I got Brons. I got the Brons winning. I got Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker winning. And if they don't win, then I think something crazy is about to go down involving night 2. But before we get into that, the main event, or maybe the main event of the night for SummerSlam night 1, Saturday, tonight, is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and that is CM Punk, number 1 contender, versus Gunther. Now, we just found out, if you've seen the show Unreal, which is out on Netflix, 5-episode series, the WrestleMania 41 original plans was supposed to be Punk versus Gunther. Punk was supposed to win the Royal Rumble, and it's supposed to be them two at Mania. And maybe that would have been the main event. Who knows? But nonetheless, they decided to give it to Jey Uso because he was on fire. He was ready to carry the company. So there was that. Was it a bad decision? I don't know. Was it a good decision? Maybe. People feel a way about WrestleMania 41, but I enjoyed it for what it was. But nonetheless, they're making up for it tonight by having Punk won the gauntlet match, mainly defeating Braun Breaker because everybody else couldn't defeat Braun Breaker between Penta, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. CM Punk went through that gauntlet and he beat Braun Breaker, got the number 1 contendership. Gunther and Punk had a couple war of words. Gunther had a promo where CM Punk walked off, or didn't say anything, or Gunther walked off, and then the next week he bragging about how he left the voice of the voiceless. He said speechless, but I thought it would better if he said, I left the voice of the voiceless. I thought he ruined that. But nonetheless, Punk came out and said, I need to win the World Heavyweight Championship. So I need that. So this is going to be a tough one, man. Like I said, no Seth Rollins. At least that's what we know. No fully recovered Seth Rollins is bound to show up with the briefcase to screw Punk. And Punk has enemies. He's got a couple enemies, or does he? But it's gonna be tough. As much as I want Punk to win the World Heavyweight Championship, I would love him to win the World Heavyweight Championship. I want him to. I think Gunther's going to retain. By hook or by crook, or just by regular technicality and no schmozzes, I think it may end up being the ring general beating the best in the world. Because Punk doesn't need the championship to be the top guy. I would love him to get it, though. I want to see him get it. But I got Gunther winning. So night 2, so night 1, I got Karrion Kross beating Sami Zayn. I got Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul beating Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. I got Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair winning the tag team titles from Raquel and Roxanne. I got Jade Cargill beating Tiffany Stratton. I got the Brons beating Jey Uso and Roman. And I've got Gunther retaining his world championship against CM Punk. Now, night 2, as of right now, the show should be starting. But night 2 is is Sunday. So I think it'll start off with the match that makes the most sense to open up night 2 to get the momentum going. And that is the 16 TLC ladder match. This is going to be bananas, man. All on my neck. Boy, jeez. What do you want? You want to smell my breath? Huh? Y'all licking on putting your breath on my hands. I'll put your breath in your nose. I'll put my breath in your nose then. Hey, all up in my grill. But yeah, six-man tag TLC match This is the biggest tag team match by metric. 6 teams, 12 men in a TLC match. 25 years removed from the first SummerSlam. In the first SummerSlam, they had a TLC, which included the 3 best tag teams known to men: the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, and Edge and Christian, which is crazy work because Edge and Christian about to reunite in AEW. Or my bad, Christian Cage and Cope, they're about to reunite in AEW. And the Hardys and the Dudleys, they're about to have a match at Bound for Glory. One last match, Hardys versus the Dudleys, which is crazy. Devon's coming, like Devon and Bubba's coming out of retirement to face the Hardys for one last time, and I think it's because they are the tag team champions of TNA. That is, that's crazy though. But these 6 teams are Andrade and Ray Phoenix, DIY Gargano and Ciampa, Fraxium, Nathan Fraser and Axiom, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelby and Chris Sabin, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, and the Wyatt 6 representatives, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, who are also your WWE SmackDown or your WWE Tag Team Champions. 6 teams in a TLC match. This is going to be one of the most fast-paced crash outs ever seen. My favorite TLC is between TLC 3 on SmackDown, which people don't talk about no more. Hello, my bro. What's going on, Prashant? Very brave. Appreciate well, whatever the brave is. But yeah, my favorite TLC matches is between I love TLC 2. Don't get it twisted. I love WrestleMania 17 TLC 2. But TLC 3 in that same year, which had the same teams, Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian, also Benoit and Jericho, the first 4-man TLC on a SmackDown. Crazy. And then the other one is TLC 4 on Raw, which was Bubba Ray and Spike versus Christian and Chris Jericho versus Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy versus Kane. And it was supposed to have been the Hurricane, but he got attacked by Triple H and Ric Flair. And Kane retained. Those are 2 of my favorite TLCs because it was 7 men and 8 men crashing the hell out with these tables, ladders, and chairs. This, like I said, is the biggest one that they've done because it's 12 teams. 12 men, my bad. 12 men, 6 teams, 12 men about to climb up ladders, fall through tables, and hit in the back or get chairs thrown in their face. This is going to be one of the coldest crash out shows you could ever witness. And like I said, I think it should open up night 2. It should open up for Sunday because people are still going to be, it's going to get your blood racing for the rest of the show. So I'm just really waiting to see like how they going. It's going to be hard to top any of the TLCs. Like that. Matter of fact, I take that back. That TLC that they had, what was it? After WrestleMania, the SmackDown after WrestleMania, crazy work. They did some crazy things on that one. But hold on. Yeah, they did some crazy stuff. But you add 2 more teams. I think it was 3 teams on that one. I think it was 3 teams on that SmackDown. But this one, 6 teams, is going to be crazy, man. Who would I think is going to take these titles? Who's going to win them? I'm almost saying Gargano and Ciampa, DIY. I think it's going to be DIY because they've been complaining the most about how the tag team division, how they're going to set everything out, how they're going to make stuff right. So with all that talk, you can't complain. Like you can't take away from the fact that they are one of the most decorated tag teams in the WWE. Gargano and Ciampa, NXT, whatever. They're one of the best tag teams in the game, and Gargano and Ciampa, they showed out when it was time to do the matches that was needed to be. Here it goes. See, I told Cardi B ain't showed up this whole time. The show just started. Now you're gonna get Cardi Fuck you, Cardi. And no, that don't mean I want to fuck you, Cardi. I mean, fuck you. You ain't showed up. You just did the commercial, and now you're just popping up. Fuck out of here. But I think DIY is going to take these tag team titles, and probably this is going to be one of the matches of the weekend because people love great crash outs. Just hope nobody gets injured. That's all. That's all. I hope nobody gets injured. Next match, I want to go ahead and keep this rolling because the show has started, and I'm ready to see how they're going to get this cracking. So next match is the singles match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. No countouts, no disqualification. Becky Lynch, the champion, versus the challenger, Lyra Valkyria. If Lyra Valkyria loses, she can no longer challenge for the Intercontinental Championship as long as Becky is the champion. Lyra beat Bayley to get the number one contender spot, and Bayley's been feeling some type of way about it. She's upset because she missed WrestleMania this year as well as SummerSlam, two of the biggest shows of the year, 2-night show, and she ain't booked on either of them. And so even though she tried to tag team with Lyra to get the tag titles, it didn't work out. So I'm thinking that Bayley's going to crash out and cost Lyra the championship. That's just the best way I could pull it. Lyra Valkyria's character has vastly stepped up since beefing with Becky Lynch. Her mic work has gotten tremendously greater. You gotta give it up to her for that. But I think she's ready for bigger aspirations. So Lyra, I think she's gonna lose this because of Bayley. And we're gonna get a bigger Bayley and Lyra beef off of that, or maybe it's gonna be back to Bayley and Becky, but who knows? I just got Becky Lynch retaining the women's IC championship, thanks to Bayley crashing out. No DQ. That means that whatever Bayley does, she ain't gonna be no disqualification. There ain't no skin off of Becky's bones. And speaking of the IC championship, we got Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio being challenged by AJ Styles. This match is supposed to happen at Night of Champions, but Dom's ribs were busted. Doctor's orders, he wasn't supposed to wrestle. So the story of AJ basically doing whatever he can to get to get Dominic to get hurried up and cleared has been a good story. Disguising himself as whatever he can. But the love for Dominic, no matter how much they boo him, people love him because he's that great of a heel. He had a crazy pop at a show for AAA, and he wants to go for the AAA Mega Championship. I wouldn't mind him seeing him with both belts, at least for a short time only. Even if it's for a short time, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So I got Dominic, not unfortunately, but I got Dominic retaining his IC championship. AJ Styles has already been Intercontinental Champion once or twice, and he doesn't need the belt at this. Anybody that needs that IC belt is Sheamus, because I want him to complete his goal as being the first Irish Grand Slam champion. So I got Dominic beating AJ Styles in a great match. A good showing. AJ's going to He called himself Unk. He said, you don't fuck with your dad no more, your poppy. Rhea's not your mommy no more. So Unk is gonna give you this work. But I think Unk is just gonna help Dom look good. That's my biggest thing. So Dominic is going to retain his IC championship. That's that on that. Next match is a steel cage match for the United States Championship. Champion Solo Sikoa will be challenging former champion Jacob Fatu. Solo Sikoa, he's got his MFT, which contains Tala Tonga, formerly known as Hikuleo, who finally made his debut. We've got JC Mateo, formerly known as Jeff Cobb, who debuted at Money in the Bank. And you've got the returning Tonga Loa. I think he hasn't been around since the Survivor Series War Games. This match, it keeps them guys at bay, but it also keeps Jimmy Uso at bay. Solo Sikoa, he's playing as a coward champion and a funny champion at that. His facial expressions has been like bar none. You gotta his facial expressions. His facial expressions. How he does that. Whenever he says anything that he feels is funny, just that one look. Oh man, he's coming into his own. So and also so I want to see him retain it. Unfortunately, I love Jacob. I think he's built for higher things. Am I saying he's going to be a WWE champion anytime soon? Not yet. But I see him built for higher things. So this is going to help Solo be over. And plus, Solo without a championship and trying to lead a squad is going to be rough. It's almost the same as him not being a tribal chief. Not like now that he don't have the Ulafala, it was tough. It was tough for him to lead the bloodline, which had Tama and Jacob and Tonga injured. It was tough to have a bloodline that he didn't have he wasn't tribal chief over. So that's when Jacob, he started doing his own thing. And then Tama Tonga, he was worried, he was he was almost on the fence. Oh shit! Not to spoil it, but I was wrong. Roman and Jay are opening up SummerSlam. So is Gunther and CM Punk going to main event, or is it going to be that damn match, that tag team match with Jelly Roll? Nonetheless, Solo Sikoa, I got him winning this championship steel cage match because it just looks stronger with him retaining that title and having a stable behind him. Unless you got Tama Tonga coming back and helping Jimmy and Jacob get the belt back for Jacob. That's my only, that's the best way I can really say it. Solo, he needs that belt just to show his cockiness and his prowess as the champion. So that's that on that. Next match, triple threat match for the WWE Women's World Championship. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Women's World Champion Naomi, who moved from SmackDown, cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Evolution, and won the championship in the middle of the match. Naomi has been on a fucking roll since her heel turn. Since she revealed that she was the one that attacked Jade, her proceed with caution gimmick has been one of the best. It's like, I can't like she embodied a lot of the pent up feelings I guess she had from leaving the WWE back in 2020. Her and Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, like that hit, like this whole unhinged role. She said, "I may be unhinged, but I'm not insane." She said that at the warm up, driving a scooter full of caution tape and shit. But this unhinged character and talking her shit, like this has been her best work, straight up. And Io Sky and Rhea are two of the best current wrestlers. Io Sky is definitely one of the best wrestlers in the women's division. Io Sky has shown that this year ain't nothing for her to play with. She she may have arrived as women's champion, cashing in at SummerSlam 23, which I was there for. I keep saying that. But like that was last year or 2 years prior when she cashed in her Money in the Bank on Bianca Belair. And since then, she's shown herself to be one of the best performers. But this year, for some reason, it's like she's above over. She is more than over. The crowd is digging her style, her gimmick, her in-ring abilities. She is just really on fire right now. Rhea Ripley, she's always going to be on fire. Mommy, everybody's going to appreciate what Mommy does, what she brings to the table. Her interest is oozing aura. Her move sets, she's just one of the most brutal women and also best technical women in the game. I ain't gonna say technical, but She knows how to. I would almost say she's a great catch can wrestler. So she's going to adapt with anything. And Naomi, she is long tenured. She's been she's well tenured into this business, and she knows how to work with everybody too. But Naomi, she's deserved this opportunity to be one of the top women in the game, and I don't think it should be stopped tonight or tomorrow. I don't think it should stop tomorrow. Her momentum and her attitude as this new champion, I think it should keep carrying over. I want to see her versus Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris. The devil's kiss on Naomi will be real nice to see. Because that's let's not talk about it. But I want Naomi to continue this momentum as the champion. If she loses this championship in less than a month, after like less than a couple, like three, like she had the title for about 2-3 weeks, and her losing it at SummerSlam is going to be a drop on her credibility. So EO, she's going to be women's champion soon enough, like soon later on down the line. Rhea, she doesn't need to be in the title picture. As much as people complain about her being in the title picture, she can be in the matter of fact, she can be in the title picture. She just doesn't need to be champion. So, and this night or tomorrow night, I got Naomi retaining her championship and going on to Clash in Paris to face Stephanie Vaquer. And the last match for the WWE Undisputed Championship in a street fight, we got the rematch of WrestleMania 41 between the new King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes, and our champion for over 100 days, John Cena. I'm glad that I'm doing these predictions now, because I would have done them differently had I not known the implications of what's going down this weekend, or like Friday just shook up just shook up the atmosphere, because John Cena's back to being a babyface now, supposedly. John Cena saw the error of his ways, especially after seeing the whole thing of after watching what happened to him at Unreal. Maybe not. My man got on shorts. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. Wait a minute. He got Roman doing it. One more time, Oops. One more time. Yeet. Oh, Lord. Oh, man, they're interrupting the Yeet movement. Damn, man. Roman is opening up SummerSlam. Who'd have thunk it? Anyway, getting distracted. You know, John Cena turned heel with the influence of Rock and Travis Scott at an Elimination Chamber. The payoff didn't look so great because only Travis Scott showed up. The Rock was too busy doing some stuff in Japan. Whatever you want to think about, we don't know what it was, but it was not WWE related. So people feel disappointed that Cena's heel turn didn't go the way they wanted to go because the final boss wasn't a part of it. What the fuck is Travis Scott doing here? All of this type of shit. Even though he had great matches with Randy Orton and CM Punk and R-Truth and the tag team match at Money in the Bank with him and Logan Paul, which I think may be his next challenger for the championship. Clash of Paris, Logan Paul versus John Cena. But I just gave you all the spoiler. Anyway, that means I think John Cena is going to retain his championship. So, yeah, John Cena, we're going to see him because we ain't seen him do it since Elimination Chamber. And that's have the belt the belt with the faceplate on his waist, front of his waist, taking out his towel, his hand towel, putting in front of his chest, telling Stu, let's go to work. Salute the like, take the salute, run down to the ring. We're about to see all of that tomorrow night. We're about to see the John Cena that everybody been knowing and loved or hated for the last 25 years. You're about to see the John Cena that we have come to recognize. This ain't heel John Cena no more, apparently. The champ is here. He gave up this whole sentiment about him wanting to walk away with the belt because he wanted to make sure nobody forgot him, which is crazy work because, John, we're never going to forget you no matter what you've done in this business. 17-time world champion, that is enough for us to remember you, dude. Ric Flair, who? You know what I'm saying? You are the greatest of all time. You're the greatest champion of all time. 17. Unless you go out and get them other championships. Fact be known 21 times. 16 I'll take credit for. So Cena wins 5 more championships. Then he could really be the greatest of all time. But no, 17-time world champion, made one of the best impacts as a babyface, whether loved or hated. You got people to see you for you. And that excuse of him talking about he wanted people to not forget him, check out Not Saying Wrestling's alert. I think he may be throwing us in for like either we're being thrown for a loop, he's pulling the wool over our eyes, puppeteering us all again, because he reminded me of one of the promos he did. I don't know if it was right before CM Punk. I think it was before CM Punk. Before CM Punk challenged him for Night of Champions, where he said, I'm smarter than all of y'all. I gave Randy Orton his last chance. I like all this type of stuff I did. I make I'm smarter than y'all because I know y'all next step. I know what y'all want. That's why I'm beating y'all favorites. Cody Rhodes said the week after he forged John's signature into the contract for this street fight, he said he don't want this John Cena that's got a black screen with his name in white letters on the LEDs. He don't want the John Cena that got the belt on his back. They got the faceplate on his back, the towel on the back of his head. He wants the John Cena of old. So he gave him that in that promo. Now, and he said the reason why he thanked Cody for forcing him to do that because you backed me into a corner where I gotta show up for war or I can't show up at all. So that's a good excuse, but I think that's gonna be a way to get the fans involved into you, and you're gonna pull a coup once again, and maybe some other crazy shit will happen at SummerSlam. Who knows? John Cena has been feeling leery about this heel turn. Some of the things that's been happening to him, Night of Champions. He played fake on CM Punk. He didn't want to hit him, but it's like, no, man, no, shake my hand. Then he did it. The Punk read that though, but nonetheless, that nigga got his J's on his neck. Paul Heyman got Roman's J's that he wore on Raw in Detroit. He ripped them. Bronson Reed took his J's off his feet after Braun Breaker speared both Jay and Roman through a table, and he put them niggas on his neck. He put them J's on his neck. Anyway, people still aren't ready to see Cody Rhodes win the championship again. And if they do, they're gonna boo him and they want him to turn heel. I don't think that Cody's turning heel just yet. I think he may end up getting that way because him losing twice to John Cena as a heel and a face is going to start to crack him a bit. I beat my best friends. I beat some of my closest friends, Jey Uso and Randy Orton, to win King of the Ring to get this shot, just to try to get revenge on you. And then for it to not go down that way, I think he's going to start to crack. And the reason why I'm saying Logan Paul versus John Cena at Clash in Paris is because in the lead up to it and the match, Logan Paul was trying to do some things, trying to do some devious things, and or he was Logan Paul, he was trying to listen to what Cody and Jay was saying. Like they was trash talking, he wanted to fight him. And Cena's like, "Nah, nigga, listen to me. Fuck what they talk about. Listen to me." And even during the match, there was a part in there where Cena and Logan was looking at each other like, "Who do you think you're fucking like?" You know. So I think John. That's why I say Logan Paul and Drew is going to win. So I don't know about this babyface instant turn, but I do got John Cena retaining his championship. Do I see him leaving the company with it, or having his last match at not a this Saturday night's main event in Boston? Do I see him losing that belt there? No, I see him losing it maybe somewhere in between Clash at Paris and Survivor Series, depending on who his opponent is, or unless Seth Rollins comes back from his injury and cashes in on him. And it's going to let Cody slowly snap. John Cena, if he is his true self, that like he faced the top heels already, or he faced the top baby faces already. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, CM Punk. He brought Truth back to get him going. Roman Reigns, as much as I want to see him fight Roman Reigns again, I don't think that's going to happen. But Logan Paul, I see him facing Logan Paul later on down the line. Drew McIntyre, I see him facing Drew McIntyre later on down the line. And maybe one more big heel. Maybe Bronson Reed. I don't know. I don't like not Bronson Reed, but Braun Breaker. But man, it's gonna be a tough one. This like the Cody and Cena match. I don't know. But no, I got Cena retaining, but how I don't know. So there's my predictions for that. I've been talking for over an hour. I'm missing the volume action of this tag team match that's starting off Roman and Jay versus Braun and Bronson. But I got DIY. I got DIY winning the tag titles. I got Becky Lynch retaining the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Dominic retaining his Intercontinental Championship. Solo retaining his United States Championship. Naomi retaining her Women's Championship, World Championship, and John Cena retaining the WWE Undisputed Championship. Only one new champion on night 2, and 3 championship changes. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 titles on the line. I think only 3 of them going to change hands. SummerSlam is usually like the game shifter. It's normally the game changer of the year. A lot of titles changed hands last year, and if not a lot, like some people, like Gunther, he won the World Heavyweight Championship. Liv Morgan, she retained the world title, but Dom sided and changed on Ripley. She sided with Liv. And he sided with Liv. Like SummerSlam is supposed to be that night where some pivotal stuff happens in the storylines. So I see that being the same thing tonight. And it's starting with this tag team match. But those are my predictions, y'all. I'm about to shut down. I got to watch this show because I got to enjoy this. And I'll be back with y'all when I'm back with y'all. Hopefully I get some new material popping going off so I can just keep connecting with y'all, man. There's only so much I can do. But until then, you're going to see these boys keep getting longer because I'm feeling like Booker T right now, sucker. But until then, I'm out this bitch like newborn puppies, man. I'm going to enjoy this SummerSlam. I hope y'all do. Don't get too over jealous or too pretentious if your predictions ain't go the way they go to. Remember, you're not booking this show. That Koski guy is. I forgot his first name already. But yeah, if you want to get mad at anybody, blame Koski, Triple H, and the rest of the writer's staff of the creative. Don't get mad at yourself, okay? All right, I'm out.